This November 11th meeting of the Board of Trustees for the Burleson Independent School District is now called to order at 5:30 p.m. This meeting was duly posted according to legal requirements and a quorum is present. We welcome employees and guests to the meeting. The board encourages public comments during the public comment section of the meeting. Anyone wishing to speak must fill out a card prior to the meeting. Comments are limited to 5 minutes per person, and the public comment section will be limited to no more than 30 minutes. The board may not discuss any issues that are not posted on our agenda. The board may defer agenda item discussions until the appropriate time during the meeting. The board asks that citizens not present complaints or concerns regarding individual employees or students at this time, as the district has a complaint policy that must be followed before the concern is addressed with the board. Ashley, we received some cards.
Just the one.
Okay. So tonight we have Victoria Johnson, who would like to speak with us about the Character Council.
Hello, good evening, members of the board and Dr. Jimerson. I'm here on behalf of our wonderful Character Council. I know a number of you are very familiar with it, but just to give a little bit of history, as we are approaching 25 years, that a group of tremendous community leaders brought this concept to Burleson, and it's a combination of the school district, the city, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Ministerial Alliance here in Burleson. We're going to have a couple of pictures that are filing through as I'm speaking, and these are just some of the amazing kiddos that we've had the opportunity to represent. And really, it's in partnership with the school district. We have counselors at each campus identifying students that really stand out on the character traits that have been not only focused on from the state level, but we as a community have focused on a lot of these characteristics and positive things that some of these students are doing here at home. And that's what we really want to enforce: kindness, compassion, taking care of one another, supporting one another, just simple things like holding the door for a classmate or picking up trash at the end of the day for their teacher. So we have a lot of good things going on in this community, and that's really what we want to celebrate, because we don't get to celebrate that enough. And that is what the Character Council does each year at our Character Council luncheon. And I wanted to bring this forward to you all and to the community members that might be following our board meetings here in Burleson. Our next luncheon is scheduled for Thursday, February 27th, and it will be at First Baptist Church at 11:30. And so we will, at that time, get to recognize students from all grade levels that just exemplified and showed great character in their daily activities and daily interactions with staff and teachers and other community members in their campuses. So that's really all I wanted to bring to our attention. We have, over the years, Character Council has ebbed and flowed, and there's some that have stayed tried and true. Miss Jerry McNair and Miss Pat Worrell have seen it get big and get small, but we just have a tremendous network that just wants to reach out and share good news, and that's what Character Council is all about. So I hope you all will be able to join us at this coming year's luncheon, and we'll recognize kiddos and enjoy cheering them on. A lot of times these are the kids that may not be the star athlete or the honor roll student every single time, but these are kids that are just doing good things, and they are showing us how we should treat each other in this community. So thank you all for having me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you in February.
Thank you, Victoria. The Board of Trustees of the Burleson Independent School District will adjourn into closed session at 5:34 p.m. for the purpose of consideration of matters for which closed sessions are authorized by Title V, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code .071-.084, whereupon the superintendent, at the request of the president of the Board of Trustees, will present for the board's consideration or discussion the following matters: consideration of teacher, administrator employment or other appropriate personnel matters, deliberate a negotiated contract for our prospective gift or donation, deliberate the use of security personnel, devices, and/or audits, intruder detection audit, deliberate a matter regarding a student or student discipline, deliberation regarding real property, or consultation with an attorney. This time, this meeting is adjourned. The closed session. The Board of Trustees of the Burleson Independent School District will reconvene to open session at 6:42 p.m. We have one item to take care of from the closed session. I recommend that the Board of Trustees grant the Board President the authority to approve new hires between now and the next regular meeting in December. The Board will consider ratifying those hires at the next meeting, and I need a motion. Michael, thank you. Second? Stacy, thank you. All in favor, please raise your hand. I see none opposed, motion passes. Now let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I, the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, next, I need a motion from the Board of Trustees to adopt the order of items for the November 11th, 2024 agenda as presented. I have a motion. Ryan, thank you. Dallas, thank you. All in favor, raise your hand. None opposed? Motion carries. Now it is time for special recognitions with Dr. Hill.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have a variety of special recognitions. I'm going to begin by welcoming Dr. Seth Hickman to the podium.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Jemerson. So I'm excited to introduce to you two groups of students in acknowledgement of their academic achievements. So we have National Merit Commended and National Merit Semifinalist Scholars this year. This is the first time since 2016 that we've had semifinalists in our district. So we are super excited about that. Yeah. So they were identified for this recognition by scoring in the top 3% of the nation on their PSAT for Commended, or about the top 1% for our semifinalists. All of these students shown great academic achievement, of course, and are in our Superintendent Scholars Program. So here with us tonight are our National Merit Commended Scholars, Traven McDonald, come on up. Traven's at Game Development Design School, and along with him there is Wesley Titsworth. And we have Tyler Myers from Centennial High School. And then our two National Merit semifinalists are Thomas Bowles from Burleson High School. And Aditi Ray from Centennial High School.
Remember when I was a semifinalist years ago? Wasn't scholarship. It wasn't, was it?
All right, everybody, look right here. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Get it?
Yep.
All right. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
All right, thank you, and I'll hand it over to Gabriel Rivera.
Is that the mic?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the-
I didn't see him. I saw an invisible mic. Okay. Good evening. My name is Gabriel Rivera. I'm the head cross-country coach at Centennial High School. And thank you very much for inviting us and showing recognition to these two individuals. I've been there for 1 year. I was under, Coach Eden was there, but I've been there for 4 years now. So I've been many places, and this is like one of the best places that I've been. Kids are awesome, wonderful kids, and it's just a blessing to be here. So thank y'all so much for the invitation. Two individuals are the state cross-country meet, and so they qualified for state, Charlotte Friedenberg and Ella Magayan. And so just a little bit about Charlotte. would you like to, do I need to invite them up here? Okay, yeah, so step up here, Charlotte. This is Charlotte. And then Ella. So first off on Charlotte real quick, she's a sophomore, 2-year letterman, and she had 5 top 10 finishes cross country. Normally you have about 150, 200 kids. She finished 5 in the top 10. She ran her best race at regionals at Texas Tech University in Lubbock, which qualified her for the state meet individually. So she did run her PR there. She helped the team finish 7th at the region, so we missed state as a team, not by much. And then she's a 23rd sophomore at the UIL State Cross Country Championships, so she represented CHS very well. Ella, of course, I'm sure some of you, well, y'all know Ella because she's a senior now, and she's
like the 4th time.
yeah. So she's a 4-year letterman team captain. She won 4 individual races overall, the gold medal. She's a back-to-back district champion as well for the district. She won the bronze medal at the Region 1 championships in Lubbock, which qualified her individually to state. And she does have her name on the map. She's broken several track records. She did break the Centennial cross-country 5K record, which was held since 2015. And so she did run 17 minutes and 59 seconds for 3 miles for a 5K. So she's a new record holder. And as a matter of fact, she holds 4 out of the top 5 times at CHS. So she's got several scholarship offers. She's been offered plenty of full rides to different universities. She hasn't made a decision yet. She'll run at the Nike Cross Regionals at the Woodlands in a couple of weeks to hopefully qualify maybe for the Nationals at Eugene, Oregon, possibly. So, but these 2 ladies represented Burleson, Centennial, and the entire district at the state cross country championships. So again, Ella's graduating. She's a sophomore. Thank you so much for them too for getting the girls team back on track. There was 1 year that we didn't do so well, but they're back on track, and hopefully nothing but good things. So Charlotte and Ella state qualifiers for cross country.
Y'all look right here.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
You get it? Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you, yes. Now I present to you Brett Smith. Oh, hey.
Look at that. Good evening. All right, so the next group that you'll have in front of you is the Centennial High School Spartan Regiment, the marching band. On May 27th, the 2024 version of the Burleson Centennial Spartan Regiment met for the very first time at our annual spring training camp. We played the first notes of our new marching show and laid a foundation for what Taming the Sky would mean to us. The discovery of challenges in front of us, a struggle against the unknown, followed by the eventual understanding that we are stronger working together. And so fighting through the intense heat, the many, many hours of summer band, the 8 hours a week of marching rehearsal before school, before most people are alive for the morning, we're out there working together, and they really did come together to find some great success this year. We went to some contests on Saturdays. Our first contest, U.S. Band's Crowley Regional, and we were the regional champion in Crowley this year, which is fantastic. The next week we went to the Birdville Marching Invitational and did not just go up against 5As our size. We're going up against schools that are twice our size, big schools, 6A schools, and we were 5th at that contest, beat out many, many 6As. Very incredibly proud of them for that. The following week, we went to a different route. So we did the U.S. Band's regional championship route, we did the regional marching invitational route, and then we went to a different circuit. It's called Bands of America, or Music for All is the parent company. It's a national contest, and there was a regional held in Waco, down at my alma mater. We got to go down to Baylor's campus. That's right. Excuse you. So we got to go.
ragweed, Brent.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm sure. We got to go hang out down there, and they got to see some good Baylor traditions. So I taught them the alma mater. We did a good Sick 'em Bears together. They're well versed in the culture now. But they got to hang out, and again got to compete against the schools that are twice our size easily. Schools that are just incredible, that compete across the country. We competed again, and there was only one other 5A school that even made it into finals. So we were one of only two 5A schools that made it into finals. And they competed, fought hard, and claimed 11th at that contest. The following weekend, we had our area. So what I failed to mention is we actually fought through the UIL system. We went to our region contest and got straight ones from all of our judges, which was the highest result we could have asked for. We advanced to area and placed second in prelims in area, and then fourth in finals to advance to the state marching contest. And again, what a grind that was. And then finally, we finished our season in style in the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, getting to march with, we started with 247, I think it was 247 5A schools in the state of Texas, and we've placed 9th in the whole state. So extremely, extremely proud of our kids, the work ethic, the grit and determination that they showed, and the tenacity that they displayed. Over 150 students in the Spartan Regiment, 5 directors, and an endless supply of parent volunteers and boosters. They drive trucks, they load instruments and equipment, they feed our kids, they fill their water jugs with cold water. I mean, they just do just about everything. We're so incredibly thankful for our parents and our boosters. Now I'd like to take a minute to thank our directors. Mr. Klein isn't able to be here. He's a little under the weather. Understandably, I mean, we're talking long hours here, long days for months and months and months. Since May, we've been going. And I'm incredibly thankful and grateful for our director team that love on our kids and that would do anything to make sure that they're reaching the highest level of success possible. Here today, here in a minute, what you'll get to see is our drum majors, some of our student leadership team, our drum majors, brass captain, woodwind captain, guard captains, front ensemble, and our battery captains as well. So guys, if you wouldn't mind, but just take this center stage here, you can kind of come up over here, we'll take a good picture. So these are some of our student leadership team, just a kind of a small pared down version of our student leadership team. Some of the folks that have allowed this process to work as seamlessly as it has. These guys take on so many responsibilities on the field. They coach up their peers, do an extremely great job. They do just about everything we ask of them, and we're so incredibly proud of them. So with that, I give you the 9th in-state Centennial High School Spartan Regiment. Sure.
If we can push together a little bit, that'd be
Yeah, we're going to bring in.
There we go.
Can we get everybody? Are we gonna be able to do this? Can you use a .5?
I can't.
Oh. She's very good. I know, she knows what she's talking about.
Is that good?
Everybody look here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Well, I just want to say, the amount of hours that these students put in is, I got to tell you, I always say, I don't know if there's any program, any group of students that works harder, puts in more hours. And, somebody told me, man, those kids they sure do work hard. And I said, yeah, but they're champions. And I got to tell you, you all are part of a program that is arguably one of the strongest programs we've got in our district, and consistently going to state, including this year. What he failed to say was, there were 38 bands, as I was told, that qualified for state. And then after the first day, after everyone, I guess, the prelims, and then the top 12 were named finalists. And obviously this group right here, our band, is a state finalist again. And this program has been consistent. It's because of the hard work that you all put in. And those are the lessons that are going to carry you through. And it's nice to be champions. We're proud of you. And thank you for what you've done and for making us all proud. Did we sing?
And
Thank you all for being here.
I just want to say, I got to go and see y'all, and I knew you worked hard, but wow, I'm telling you, I was aghast at just all you did. It was awesome. I was aghast. I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted. It was wonderful. I was screaming really loud. So I just thought
She really was. Right here, right here.
So thank you. You just bless our hearts. Thank you so much. You teachers, you directors, wow, awesome, awesome.
Good job.
Thank you.
Well done.
So we do have one final thing for special recognition. This is something different that we haven't done before. We've been shooting this video for years, video footage of what's going on campuses. We put this on our website so current and prospective parents can look and see what the good things that are going on whenever they're looking at their campus. But as these videos get better and better, our principals, our teachers are working really hard to make sure that we're capturing the really amazing work of our students. And so we wanted to recognize Norwood, our latest elementary school of choice, and we will bring some of these as soon as we have them wrapped up. We're shooting several of them, but I wanted to show you the work that's going on there.
Thank you, Michaela. You know, when I was shooting the video clips that went into this, anyway, and kudos to you and your team and to our campuses for providing great content, and kudos to you and your team, in particular, Garen. Garen is our in-house videographer, graphic designer, pretty much can-do guy. He's a great addition to a team, and he's shooting all these in-house, and so please extend our gratitude to him as well.
Okay, now it's time for comments from individual board members. If any board members have anything they'd like to say. I would like to say one thing before Ms. Pat gets started. And that is, we're good friends, so it works. I'm just in awe of the time that our students put in the activities, extracurricular, whether it's athletics, whether it's an academic extracurricular, whether it's band, music, fine arts. It just blows my mind to think of the hours they put in extra to excel. They're working toward excellence. And the coaches, how lucky we are to have those coaches who give hours of blood, sweat, and tears to our kids. And as board president, I just want to say I'm filled with gratitude. I'm filled with gratitude for the job all of you do that are staff for our school district. But the extra hours is one thing that sometimes does not get enough recognition because it's there. And when the school building closes, the work still goes on. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Well,
Okay,
I
Pat.
do want to talk. Okay. First, I wanted to say again about the band. I got to wear two hats, if you'll pardon the pun, because I had my school board hat on when I was there. But I've got a grandson in that, and ninth grader in that. And I'm seeing it more, hearing about all of what's going on. So impressed with the leadership. And you can tell the parents are behind it because there were 40-something parents down there in San Antonio out there dragging that stuff out on there, and they're just on the crew, plus all the ones that were there in the cheering section. I mean, it was such a positive experience for me to get to see that. I encourage every one of you, if you ever get a chance to go, go. It will just lift your spirits. And then my spirits got lifted again. This morning, I met Miss Judy Hike over at Hike Elementary because I had seen the new mural that the PTO provided in the library over there. It is just beautiful. Wanted her to see it. Well, I talked with the principal, and they were having their program tonight for the Veterans Day. And I said, are you practicing? Because I knew we couldn't be there tonight because of the board meeting. So we got to get front and center this morning to see those kids. And I'm telling you, you're looking at a woman that put on many, many, many PTO programs in her career, okay? I have never in my life seen an elementary program that was that awesome. You wouldn't, but they integrated PE, athletic stuff, coordination. If I'd been in that, I might be able to walk across the floor without falling down. I mean, because those kids, they did stuff with all kinds of activity stuff and music and singing and, oh my goodness, it was wonderful. So, I was aghast. I was. It was wonderful. So, anyway, I just really want you to know we've got some, I agree with Jerry completely, we've got some great stuff going on in our campuses. Thank you.
And if that's not enough excitement, next are the financial action items. First one is to consider the annual comprehensive financial audit.
I don't know if I can top that, but it is November, and so it's time for the audit. We have Weaver and Tidwell. Jackie is here to help present the audit and anything that she would like to say about it. I would like to thank the Finance Committee of the board, who is so supportive, and we get together and we discuss the audit, and they give us feedback and ideas and all their comments. And so I want to go ahead and thank you guys right from the beginning for that. And then I will turn it over to Jackie. Sit up here with me.
Before we start, and I want to reiterate what she just said, our school board finance audit committee did meet and did meet with our auditors, went over the report in much, much more detail than we'll cover tonight, and peppered her with some pretty good questions. And of course, Mike is Mr. Let me find something in there that I need to question and see if I can. But he tends to like spreadsheets for whatever reason. He and Brenda need to go bowling. But anyway, I want to thank the audit committee for coming in, lending your time to go over this in much more detail, and to ensure that we were ready for tonight, and that we were all aware and in a good place. So with that, Jackie, if you would, please.
I'll go over a short presentation. Feel free to ask any questions. I'll try my best to answer them. First, for those of you who do not know who we are Weaver and Tidwell, a national public accounting firm. But really what I wanted to showcase here is our government experience. So as we continue to grow, our government practice continues to be one of our largest sectors. And here in Texas, we serve over 50 school districts. And then throughout the country, we serve over 300 total governmental clients. I'm Jackie Gonzalez. I serve as your engagement partner, and happy to do so. I enjoy working with the district. I'm glad to meet with the audit committee the other day and then present the results tonight, which are all very positive. So once again, another great year and great audit. In addition to myself, I had Jamie Moore serving as the manager. And then alongside of me, I have a quality control partner who is Jennifer Ripka. She reviews the audit. After we're done, kind of give that next set of eyes, an independent set of eyes outside of our audit team. And then also have Elisa Gilbertson working with us, who is in our data analytics group and is able to take all that big data, kind of get it down for us so that we can analyze it as part of our audit. A little bit about the audit process. We do look at it as a cycle, so I don't want that to sound like we're here all year, but we are in touch all year, wanting to know. Not everybody loves audits as much as me, but we do stay in touch throughout the year so that when we come out for our field work, we really have a great understanding of what's gone on, what your priorities are so that we can address those head on. We come out for interim or pre-field work in July and then came back for our final field work in September. As you mentioned, presented to the audit committee the other day, and then have issued our final reports present to you tonight. And then we'll kind of start that all over again to get caught up between the year we audited, the year you're in, and the year you're planning for.
It never ends.
It never ends. And we perform our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards, as well as generally accepted government auditing standards. In addition to the financial statement audit, we also perform a single audit or an audit in accordance with the uniform guidance, which is those audits over your federal awards because of the amount of grant dollars that you get from the federal government. We also perform compliance tests over things like the Public Funds Investment Act and those requirements set forth by TEA. Next, the most important slides here are the results of your financial statement audit. We have issued an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion. Would you like me to repeat it?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
A clean opinion.
A clean opinion. What
Yes.
what exactly does that mean, Jackie?
That is the highest level of assurance that we as your independent auditors can provide. So clean audit, no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, and no matters of non-compliance related to your financial statements.
So that's pretty good, isn't it, Jackie?
Very, very good.
Thank you, Jackie.
Also as good is this next slide, which is over the federal awards related to those major programs that we audit. So you can see down here in the bottom right hand, we audited the Child Nutrition Cluster, which is one of the largest clusters or one of the largest group of federal grants that you receive. And we have an unmodified or clean opinion on the compliance related to that cluster. You do qualify as a low-risk auditee. What that means is that you would not have any findings in at least the previous 2 years of any type. You did not have any material weaknesses, so no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, and no compliance findings within that grant. So that combined is about the cleanest audit that you can receive.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Clean on all fronts.
I like that. Thank you.
We do perform a risk-based audit, so throughout that process, we do respond to certain risks that we have identified. And in order to do that, we have done this additional analysis over your payroll, cash disbursements, and procurement cards. So through the payroll analysis, we obtain the entire payroll register and information throughout the year, as well as the employee listing. And we analyze that to see if there's any irregularities in either the amount of pay per position, the number of pay periods, or anything that just looks outside of our expectation. We had no findings or any exceptions to that testing. We also do the same thing with the cash disbursements, where we obtain the entire year of disbursements. We look at the vendors, the amount of times they were paid, amounts they were paid, kind of business purpose of those payments, and we had no exceptions there either. We also look at payments to any members of management to determine if they were paid outside of payroll, if those were legitimate business expenses. They were all supported that we looked at, no exceptions there. And then on the procurement cards, we also obtained those statements and reviewed for all support, and there were no exceptions in that testing either. Related to that child nutrition program, we do look at many invoices and payroll records, but then we also step back and look at and analyze how much is going to each respective category within that fund. And so you'll see here that total payroll made up 43% of the amount of costs within the child nutrition cluster, and 53% went to supplies and materials. So that's all very expected, exactly what we expect to see expended in that fund. We also review estimates throughout the course of the audit. Here are the largest estimates that we reviewed: the state foundation revenue, the proportionate share of the net pension liability, the proportionate share of the OPEB or other post-employment benefit liability, as well as the estimated useful life of your capital assets. All of those were as we expected. No issues there with our estimates. We had no material errors, irregularities, or illegal acts, no transactions entered into for which there was lack of authoritative guidance or consensus, no difficulties, no independence issues on our side, and no requests for a second opinion that we're made aware of. Next, we'll move on to the financial highlights. So this slide here is the expenditures by function just for the general fund. So you can see here for the general fund, the largest piece of that pie in both 2024 and 2023 was instruction, making up 57.3% of total expenditures in the general fund in 2024 and 56.6% in 2023. Next, we'll just take a look at the top 5 functions for the past 5 years. Again, you can see instruction trending upwards, which we would expect to see, your debt service, fluctuating year to year, which we expect to see just depending on the debt payments that occur. And then facilities and acquisition, as those projects wind down, you can see the decrease in that for this year. And then facilities maintenance and operations continuing to stay about consistent throughout the years, and then school leadership also remaining consistent. Next, this is revenue by source just for the general fund. So you can see 59% in 2024 was made up of state program revenues versus 46% in the previous year. 41% came from your total local and intermediate sources versus 52% in 2023. Now, if we look at that same trend over the last 5 years, but this includes all of the governmental funds, so not just your general fund, but also adding in the capital projects fund, any of your grant funds and your debt service fund, you can see this trend. And if we just look at 23 and 24, you can see that the total local and intermediate sources came down a bit, state increased year over year, and federal decreased just a bit. Next, we're moving on to fund balance. Again, this is for all governmental funds. So you can see of this pie, 37.5 million is made up of the general fund versus a 33.5 in the previous year. So an increase to your general fund. Followed by the next biggest piece of the pie, which is your debt service at 30 million in the current year versus 22.4 in 2023. By percentage, you can see that the general fund makes up 41% in both years. Next, we'll move to the general fund budget. So here you can see we've got the adopted budget against the amended and then the actual for both revenues and expenditures. So your total amended to actual for your revenues came within 1.26%. And your expenditures came within 0.72% of what that amended budget was that went before the board. So very close, very good job. Lastly, we'll present these statistical highlights. I think it's always just good to see these trend analysis here. So we have the total taxable assessed value that you can see here over the last 10 years that is has been increasing, and then your average daily attendance, of course, we know took a dip and has been coming back and staying steady there, and then your population that has continued to grow. So thank you very much. I'll turn it back over to all of you for any questions you may have.
Any questions?
So we should be lowest next year, right?
Yes. Yes. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, and then I'm going to need a motion that the Board of Trustees approve the annual comprehensive financial audit ending June 30th, 2024 as presented by Weaver and Tidwell. Michael? Second. Dallas? All in favor? I see none opposed. The motion passes.
Jackie, thank you for being here. I would also like to thank Brenda and her team for making sure that we have good processes in place and that we are compliant. And I would like to thank all of our administrators who are compliant, whether you like it or not. I know how she can be at times. But the fact is, you follow it, and you do, and you follow our guidelines, and there's a reason for them, and you trust there's a reason for them, and we appreciate that, because that's why we can come up here and say we run a clean, tight ship, and we keep getting these back, and we keep getting superior ratings in our financial ratings. We're transparent, and we want to show that confidence, and we want to be able to, that our community know that we're running things very well, and we're running them clean and transparently. And Brenda, thank you for that. And thank you all for participating, whether you want to or not, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so the next item this evening is Safety, Security, and Intruder Detection Audit Update with Mr. Steve Logan.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Tonight's only safety update is that we have 2 SSO candidates that we are recommending for hire. The first candidate is for a full-time position at the Academy or as the Academy SSO. The second candidate is for a part-time position that can be used to fill in for any of our SSO absences at any of our campuses across the district. However, I'm not going to be introducing them just yet.
Well, hold on a second.
Okay, if no one has any objection, we can go ahead and move the hiring up on 13A, on action item, and go ahead and move that up to do that now. Take
Okay,
care of that
great,
now.
great.
Is that all right with you, Steve?
That's wonderful with me, thank you. Our first
All right
candidate,
with the rest of the board? Okay, please continue.
Our first candidate is Paul O'Connor. Paul, if you want to join me up here. He'll be our SSO at the Academy. Paul O'Connor is a master peace officer with 32 years of law enforcement experience with the Arlington Police Department. He served over 26 years as a full-time SWAT operator and as assistant team leader from 2010 to 2023. He holds a TCOL instructor, firearms instructor, and advanced law enforcement rapid response training instructor licenses. He was a lead instructor started in 2000 for active shooter and rescue task force. He has had additional training from the U.S. Secret Service, the FBI, and the U.S. Navy SEAL Team 6 for dignitary protection, surveillance, and close combat. He's used this training to assist the Secret Service as a team member of REACT teams and motorcade escort for 2 former presidents, 2 sitting presidents, and several foreign heads of state. His efforts have been recognized with the award of 2 Medals of Honor and a Medal of Valor for hostage rescues and protecting other officers during a critical incident. Prior to O'Connor joining the Arlington Police Department, he was a captain in the United States Air Force who served as a navigator on a B-52 bomber crew. After serving in Desert Storm operations, he began his career in law enforcement. I'd like to welcome Mr. Paul O'Connor here. John, come up here. Another candidate is John Sullivan. John Sullivan is a master peace officer with over 30 years of law enforcement experience, including distinguished service with the U.S. Air Force and the Fort Worth Police Department. As a sergeant at Carswell Air Force Base, he provided nuclear security and managed emergency readiness for natural, man-made, and nuclear disasters. During his 28 years with the Fort Worth PD, he served as a neighborhood police officer and a field training officer, responsible for community safety, including private and Fort Worth ISD schools. He has received numerous commendations, including the Life Saving Award, and holds certifications in crime prevention, TSA operations, emergency response, and FEMA for first responders and emergency managers. His expertise spans community safety, critical incident response, and dignitary protection. Having served with the Secret Service at the 2009 presidential inauguration at the U.S. Capitol. He later trained law enforcement and civilians on active shooter response with Texas Law Shield, and most recently worked with Ingram Micro, overseeing the safety and security of employees and investigating high-value thefts. Sullivan's extensive experience and career demonstrates his commitment to public safety and security. Mr. John Sullivan.
Okay, we have one action item. Consider hiring the school safety officer, and I need a motion of the Board of Trustees to approve the following these individuals to be employed on a professional contract for the 24-25 school year pending clearance of a criminal history check and pursuant to state and federal law and board policy CKC and/or CKE as part of the district's emergency and safety operations plan. I further recommend that these individuals be authorized to carry a weapon on school property pursuant to board policy CKC and/or CKE in accordance with all applicable laws. Do I hear a motion? Pat, thank you. Second? Sean, thank you. All right, all in favor? I see none opposed. Motion carries.
All right. Thank you all.
Welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you for joining the team.
Welcome aboard. Appreciate you.
Okay. All right. Next, this evening is a Purple Star designation update with Miss Lindsay Muse.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Jimerson. I am very honored to stand here and share this information with you. And it's kind of fitting that we're here to present on Veterans Day as well. So we got notice back in September that our campus has been designated as a Purple Star campus. And so what that means is a Purple Star designation is a distinct honor created by the Texas legislature to recognize Texas public schools that show their support and commitment to meeting the unique needs of our military-connected students and families. At Mounds, we have 159 military-connected students, which is 41% of our student population. I didn't either. And so how this all came about was last spring, we had a family move in, and they had been stationed in England. And so the mom came in and she was asking what we do. And we've had our just little things here and there. And she's like, did you know that April is Military Child's Month? And I'm like, no, had no clue. So I go to Miss Bush and I was like, hey, what can we do for this? And she's like, well, we can do this. And she's like, I've also been wanting to try to apply and go for this honor. And I was like, well, let's go for it. And so a lot of this work is due to Miss Bush. And so it takes a lot to become a designated Purple Star campus. And so I'm going to kind of turn it to Ms. Bush and let her kind of go over all the requirements that we had to meet. And she had to submit a big evidence binder and write a bunch of responses in hopes of earning this designation.
Yes, and I just want to thank Lindsay for being open to that. And I told her if we didn't make it this year that I would call Dr. Bowers myself to see where I was deficient so we could reapply for the next year. So we made it, so I was very excited about that. Some of the requirements, this is not all of them, this is most of them, is to designate a campus-based military liaison, which is myself. So that means that I will be communicating with parents and our base that's in Fort Worth. I talked to the military liaison there, and she actually helped me implement my program. Another thing we have to do is create and maintain information on campus website for the military connected students and families. So on our website, which Lynn, who answers the phone in the front office, she actually was kind enough to come to our campus and train me on how to do that. So we actually have a couple of tabs on our school website for this. And this is a requirement because when they're reviewing the application process, if we do not have this on our school website, they basically just shut down the application at that point because they say that's the first thing that they look at is that we have this information. And it has to do with registration information and a lot of details. The next piece is to have a campus transition program. And some of that will be like we give tours of our campus to the military children and the families that come on campus. And we're already a leadership campus, so we kind of already have that. So I kind of just blended it together. And I'm using some of our military connected students as our military ambassadors. That's their job. And so they'll give a tour of the campus. Another thing we have to do for the transition program is look at their social emotional. So I have some of those students that are military connected in my small groups for Lunch Bunch. I'm an elementary counselor. And so then, but that's the big piece is they want that documented as well. What are you planning on to do? Like they're going to join clubs. And if they were in sports at another school or band or anything like that, what can we do to kind of match those same things on our campus? We have a resolution that shows the support of military connected families. That is a piece that has to be on our website, which we do have. And it's a declaration that the principal has to sign saying that we are going to be dedicated to honoring and recognizing and supporting our military students and families. Participate in the Military Family Month, which is November, also for Veterans Day. In April we celebrate the military child.
And so we have to participate in set holidays, and we have to provide evidence for that. And then we also need to work with the military to kind of bring them onto our campus. And so because we have these families, I asked them, can you please wear your uniform and like read a book to the students, or, you know, do some type of activities on campus. And so I took the photos of that for the evidence for TEA. And the kids just really love seeing people in uniform. So the staff on campus needs to have professional development training on this, and the requirement that TA states is that 8% of the staff has to have this training. So I just had them sign on a sign-in sheet as proof of documentation, and then also myself, I had to go through professional development on my own required, and I have to have those certificates uploaded as well to TEA. But it's just been a great opportunity for us to serve these families. So here are some of the things that we did last year. The top left was the military families. We provided them with a breakfast. And then on the top right is our Veterans Day program that we had last year. We had our choir perform our school sing to all the military families. And then right there at the bottom was one of our family members in uniform reading to the students in the classroom. And then this is the bottom left are the family members and the children coming for the photo, and we had activities for them as well.
And so it was very nice, the kids getting to see other students that they probably didn't recognize are military, and so they understood the different challenges that they go through. And it was even nice, parents sat there and they had their own conversations and they formed a relationship as well. And so this designation is for 2 years. So we have it for this school year and then next school year. And then we will be reapplying because this is something near and dear to our heart. And we're very excited to bring it to Burleson ISD.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, and kudos on the job well done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, board members should have received consent agenda in their packets. I need a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda as presented. Okay, Ryan, thank you. Second, Stacy. All in favor? I see none opposed. Motion passes. Okay. Now it's time for monthly financials with, again, Miss Brenda Mize.
Me again, sorry. Back to numbers. I'll be brief. I will burn through this real quick. Okay, so general fund, September 24-25 compared to last year, we're at almost 15.7 million in revenues, and our expenditures are at 18.2, at about 14% of our total budget. For food service, our revenues are at 1.4 million. We are up a little bit from last year, both in local and in our federal program. And then our expenditures are at 895,000. For debt service, revenues at 361,000, and then not much change on the expenditures, just the debt payment of the 15.5 million. For special revenue funds, you'll see we're at 75%. We start finishing up on the 24 year, and then they'll roll over to the 25 year. And we have on here some that already expire in April of 2025. So we always do a really good job of expending these to 100%. Childcare revenues are at 111,000, a little bit up from last year, and then the expenditures are at 147,000. For capital projects, which is oil and gas, beginning balance is 14.6 million. We're adding 290,000 at this time. Small expenditure of 4,000. The balance is at 14.89 million for oil and gas. And then payments over 10,000. It's in your packet, the full list. They're out of general fund mostly, and then we do have some grant funding, a capital project, and then our workers' comp claims. And for the tax report, still early in tax season for us, so September collections are at 66,000, and we're at 262,000 for the year so far. And then the quarterly investment report, I have it in a graph just to kind of show it here. We have 65% in Lone Star, 27% in text pool. These switch once we start getting our tax, they come into the text pool, and then that one grows. And so our state revenues coming into the Lone Star account, and so this is the breakup and the diversity that we have at this time. And that is all for me. If you have any questions. Thank you.
I have a question. Brenda, anything special happen on Saturday?
No. It's getting older.
Yeah? Oh, what happened on Saturday?
How big a number?
Divided
That's not going there. So anyway, oh, Brenda, was it
The
your
meeting
birthday?
is, it was my birthday.
Well, happy birthday,
Yes,
Brenda.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Take the number and take it divided by half. No, just kidding. No, thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that.
That's great. Okay, with a happy birthday to Brenda, that ends the meeting. This meeting is now adjourned at 7:33 p.m.